Hola, mi nombre es Minerva Mirabal and I am from the book In the Time of the Butterflies, written by Julia Alvarez. In this book, I am perceived as a very outspoken person and a very impulsive person, and I agree with that. I was born in the Dominican Republic with my three other sisters, Maria, Teresa, Patria, and Dede. We lived on a farm on the outskirts of town, and we were under the rule of our dictator, Rafael Trujillo. Trujillo, as I thought, was a somewhat like a god. He was just the best dictator a government or country could ever have. All of this changed when I was enrolled at Inmaculada Concepcion. Inmaculada Concepcion was a private school for little girls. And as I was enrolled there, I met Sinita. Sinita was this very timid girl, and I was, as I said, very outspoken. So even though we had very contrasting personalities, we immediately clicked as friends. I remember one day she told me that she had never had a friend like me, and I was very pleased at this when she said this. One day she asked me about my family, and I told her everything she wanted to know. And I asked her about her family, and she immediately started to cry. I did not understand why Sunita was crying, but after all the crying, she told me that she had nobody. She was alone in this world, and I just found that very absurd. I was like, how do you not have anybody? Do you have any cousins, aunts, uncles? Where are your parents? And she told me that they had all been killed by Trujillo. I did not believe what Sunita was telling me until one day I went up to Sor Asuncion, which she was the headmistress of the of Inmaculada Concepcion. So I asked her where were Sunita's parents and family, and she told me that she didn't have any. It was this day when the blindfold came off my eyes. I no longer perceived Trujillo as this great man that was ruling our country. No, I perceived him as a monster. And it was this day when I decided that we had to change something. So as I became older, I began discovering new things about Trujillo and more stuff he did to innocent people. And this sparked me into becoming a revolutionist. A revolutionist at this time was any person who spoke out against Trujillo and his power. Trujillo had this very well managed. He had spies all around town. He had them wandering the streets, restaurants, houses, schools, catching anybody who would speak out against Trujillo. I don't know if this happened to Sunita's parents, but I did not care. I did not care who heard me because I wanted people to hear me. I wanted people to know who Trujillo actually was. So I decided to become a revolutionist, and at that time, women were only meant to be housewives. Nothing else. They did not have a say in society, and I wanted to change that. So I encouraged my sisters and I encouraged my mother to become a revolutionist with me, but they denied it. They told me that it was too risky and that I was putting our family's lives at stake. So I did not care though. I thought that doing the right thing and standing up for what you believe in was the best thing and the correct thing to do at that time. It was one day when we were invited to Trujillo's birthday party. I was told I was a special guest of the night. So as we arrived at the party, each table was designated for a family, and so as I was sitting with my family, I was pulled away and told that I would be sitting with Trujillo at his table. I found this very absurd because no woman has ever sat at the same table with Trujillo. Well, I have never seen. But this was very awkward for me because I did not know how to react. So one day, so as we were at the table, he told me to dance. He told me he wanted to dance with me, and I said yes. And so as we were dancing, he slid his hand down my lower back, and I pushed him away, and I slapped him. Yes, I slapped him, but I do not care. I would do it again if I could. But the reason is because I am not a piece of meat he can touch as he pleases, as I told my father. My father was very angry at me, but I did not care because I was not going to let Trujillo touch me as he pleases. So that is just one of the things I did in this book. If you want to know more about Minerva, myself, please read the book In the Time of the Butterflies, written by Julia Alvarez. Thank you very much.